Every single morning, millions of people wake up, skip breakfast, drink a cup of coffee on an empty stomach, and head out the door thinking they're fine. They're not fine. In 15 years of clinical practice, I've seen this pattern destroy metabolisms, wreck cardiovascular systems, and set people on a direct path to type 2 diabetes. And not one of them connected it to skipping breakfast. Let me be very clear. A meta-analysis covering data from 118,000 people across 9 studies conducted in the United States, Japan, South Korea, and Iran found a direct, statistically significant link between skipping breakfast regularly and metabolic syndrome. That's high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. All 3 in the same person at the same time. And men who habitually skip breakfast carry a 27% higher risk of heart attack and coronary artery disease. Not from smoking, not from alcohol, from skipping the morning meal. They're not going to tell you any of this at your next appointment. The system doesn't profit from keeping you healthy. It profits from treating you once you're already sick. Subscribe to Dr. Waterling and hit like if you want the truth. Help this channel reach 100,000 subscribers. We're building something real here. Now let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body the moment you wake up, because this is the foundation of everything else I'm about to tell you. You've been asleep for roughly 8 hours. During all that time, your body received 0 food, but it didn't stop working. Your heart kept beating, your brain kept processing, your cells kept repairing themselves. All of that requires energy. Where does that energy come from? From stored glycogen in your liver. Glycogen is just a stored form of carbohydrate that your liver keeps on hand precisely for situations like overnight fasting. By morning, that glycogen supply is significantly depleted. Your body sends a clear signal. It needs fuel. Right at this moment, something important happens. Your blood levels of growth hormone, called somatotropin, spike sharply. Most people think growth hormone is just about physical growth in childhood. That's a partial picture. Its second critical function is active breakdown of fat stores. Your body in the early morning is already burning fat on its own. No diet, no gym session required. Just morning physiology doing exactly what it was designed to do. At the same time, your tissues show their highest insulin sensitivity of the entire day. Let me explain what that means because it matters a lot. Insulin is a hormone produced by the pancreas, a gland behind your stomach. Insulin's job is to help your cells take glucose from the bloodstream and use it as fuel. When insulin sensitivity is high, your pancreas only needs to release a small amount of insulin to keep blood sugar in the normal range. Even if you eat something sweet in the morning, your blood sugar will barely spike. This is the only window in your entire day when fast carbohydrates, meaning sugary foods, don't deal a serious blow to your metabolism. If you're going to eat something sweet, do it in the morning. Not after lunch, not at dinner, morning. Now here's the mechanism that most people, and honestly many doctors in a rushed 15-minute appointment, never explain clearly. Even small, repeated spikes in insulin damage the walls of your blood vessels. This isn't something that only happens to diabetics. It happens in every person whose insulin is repeatedly spiked over months and years. These repeated peaks drive chronic vascular inflammation, accelerate atherosclerosis, that's the buildup of fatty plaques on the inner walls of your arteries, and gradually erode the body's ability to respond to insulin at all. That condition is called insulin resistance. The cells stop responding normally, so the pancreas compensates by pumping out more and more insulin. The cycle feeds itself. The end result, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. All 3 connected. All stemming from a pattern of eating that disrupts the morning hormonal window repeatedly over years. Now let's look at what happens through the rest of your day when you skip that morning meal. By the time lunch arrives, your blood sugar has crashed. Your brain, which runs almost exclusively on glucose, starts demanding food urgently. This is not a willpower issue. This is neurochemistry. Your brain is flooding your body with hunger signals, and those signals are strong. You arrive at lunch ravenous and eat significantly more than you would have otherwise. By dinner, you're hungry again. And now, in the evening, when your body is winding down towards sleep and your metabolism is at its slowest point of the day, you load your digestive system with the bulk of the day's calories. What happens to all of that food that your slowing metabolism can't efficiently burn? It becomes visceral fat. Visceral fat is not the fat you can pinch on the surface of your skin. It's the fat that accumulates deep inside your abdomen, wrapped around your liver, your pancreas, your intestines, your heart. It is biologically active tissue. It secretes pro-inflammatory compounds called cytokines, chemical messengers that drive chronic inflammation throughout the body. Visceral fat is directly and causally linked to type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and several forms of cancer. You can look completely normal from the outside. Your internal organs can be quietly drowning in fat. And it connects directly back to one habit: skipping breakfast and shifting the entire caloric load of your day to the evening. There's another dimension to this that doesn't get nearly enough attention: biological rhythms. Your body runs on internal biological clocks. Every organ, every gland, every system in your body is synchronized to a circadian rhythm. Digestion, hormone secretion, immune function, sleep, and repair cycles all follow this internal schedule. When you eat at the wrong time, when you disrupt the morning fueling signal and pile the majority of calories into the evening, those clocks fall out of sync. The clinical result? Persistent fatigue without a clear cause, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and disrupted sleep. 3 meals a day with no snacking between them, breakfast, lunch, dinner, is not a dietary trend. It is the eating pattern under which your biological clocks function properly and under which your pancreas and gut lining get the rest between meals that they need to recover and repair. I hear one question from patients constantly: "Doctor, I'm just not hungry in the morning. What do I do?" Here is my clinical answer. No morning appetite is not normal. It is a symptom. Either you ate too heavily the night before, or your metabolic rhythms are already disrupted, or both. The fix is gradual. Don't force a full breakfast immediately. When you wake up, drink a glass of warm water. Not cold, not boiling, warm. Wait 15 to 30 minutes. Then eat something small: a single egg, a spoonful of porridge, anything. Within 1 to 2 weeks, morning hunger will return on its own because your body adapts to a consistent rhythm. It just needs time and repetition. Now, let's get specific. There are 5 foods that most people believe are perfectly reasonable breakfast choices and that are, in fact, doing real physiological damage. The first is instant oatmeal and other quick-cook cereals. I can already hear the objection, but it's oatmeal. It's healthy. Let me stop you right there. Whole grain, minimally processed oats, yes, healthy. But instant cereals have been industrially steamed, rolled flat, and pulverized. That process destroys the structural integrity of the starch, and destroyed starch digests almost as fast as table sugar. The glycemic index, which measures how rapidly a food raises blood sugar, for instant oat flakes exceeds 70. That is already in the risk zone. After eating instant oatmeal, your blood sugar spikes hard, your pancreas dumps a large load of insulin, your blood sugar crashes, and within 1 hour, you are hungry again. You spend the entire day on a blood sugar roller coaster, chasing your last crash with the next meal. The fix is whole grains: buckwheat, pearl barley, millet, unpolished rice, steel-cut oats. Cook them until just slightly undercooked. The firmer the grain, the lower the glycemic index. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of clarified butter, which slows carbohydrate absorption and provides sustained energy for 3 to 4 hours. Add dried fruit, berries, and 1 tablespoon of flaxseed or chia seeds. Both provide insoluble fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria, specifically lactobacilli and bifidobacteria, and gently stimulates intestinal motility. The second is coffee on an empty stomach. I want to be clear, I have nothing against coffee. It is a well-studied beverage with real health benefits when used correctly. The problem is the timing. During the night, your gallbladder accumulates bile. Bile is a digestive fluid produced by the liver, stored in the gallbladder, and released into the small intestine to help break down dietary fats. Under normal conditions, bile is released gradually during meals. Coffee is a powerful stimulator of bile secretion. When you drink coffee as the first thing in the morning before eating anything, the gallbladder contracts sharply and releases a concentrated load of bile. But there's no food in your stomach and intestine for it to act on, so it backs up into the stomach. Your stomach lining is designed to handle hydrochloric acid, which it produces itself. It is not designed to handle bile acids. Chronic exposure of the stomach lining to bile causes reflux gastritis, inflammation from bile backing up, erosions in the stomach wall, and in advanced cases, precancerous changes to the epithelium, the tissue that lines your stomach. The correct protocol is simple. Wake up, drink a glass of warm water, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then have your coffee, and follow it with food within the next 10 to 15 minutes. The bile releases normally, meets food in the intestine, and does its intended job without damaging your stomach wall. The third harmful breakfast item is freshly squeezed fruit juice. This is one of the most persistent myths in popular nutrition. People proudly tell me they drink fresh squeezed orange juice every morning for the vitamins. And yes, there are vitamins in there. But here's what else is in there. Concentrated fructose with zero fiber. When you eat a whole orange, the fiber in the fruit physically binds to the sugar molecules and slows their absorption into your bloodstream. When you juice that orange, the fiber stays behind in the pulp, in the trash can, and you drink a glass of vitamin-enhanced sugar water. Your blood glucose rises rapidly. Your pancreas responds with an insulin surge, and then, critically, your appetite for real food disappears because your gut has received a signal that a meal occurred. But nothing nutritive is actually sitting in your stomach. If you love juice, drink it after your main meal, not before it. Let food with fiber and fat hit your digestive system first. They buffer the sugar impact. Better yet, switch to vegetable juices. Beet, celery, cucumber, carrot with greens. Lower sugar, higher mineral content, far less blood glucose impact. The fourth category is processed dairy products. Processed cheese, fat-free dairy products, and condensed milk. 3 different products, 3 distinct mechanisms of harm. Processed cheese is manufactured from cheese scraps combined with melting salts that contain phosphates. Phosphorus in these concentrations directly blocks calcium absorption. Phosphate and calcium compete for the same transport proteins in the intestinal wall. So you eat what you believe is a dairy product for its calcium content, and the calcium doesn't absorb. Plus, processed cheese is an ultra-processed product loaded with a long list of food additives. Fat-free dairy products are a marketing story from the 1990s that refuses to die. When you remove fat from dairy, you also remove the fat-soluble vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K. These vitamins do not exist independently of fat. They cannot be absorbed without it. What remains in a fat-free product is protein and lactose, milk sugar. And the calcium that is still present absorbs poorly in the absence of vitamin D, which was removed along with the fat. The nutritional value approaches 0. Eat normal full-fat cottage cheese, normal kefir, normal sour cream in reasonable quantities. Your body was designed to process dairy with its fat intact. Condensed milk is simply milk with an enormous quantity of added sugar. 1 tablespoon contains approximately 12 grams of sugar. A full cup contains 100 grams of sugar. I will leave that without further comment. The fifth item, and my personal pick for most dangerous thing on the average American breakfast table, is processed meat. Deli cold cuts, sausages, hot dogs, canned meat spreads, and prepackaged ham or salami slices. I consider these among the most genuinely dangerous products on supermarket shelves, and here's the biochemical reason why. During meat processing, sodium nitrites are used as preservatives and color fixing agents. They give cured meat its characteristic pink color and extend shelf life. Inside your body, nitrites react with amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, and form compounds called nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are carcinogens. That means they directly damage cellular DNA and increase the risk of malignant tumors. The World Health Organization in 2015 officially classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen. Group 1 does not mean possibly harmful. It means the causal link to cancer is established and proven. That same category includes cigarette smoke and asbestos. Consuming 50 grams of processed meat daily, that's roughly 2 slices of deli ham, raises your risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. Beyond nitrosamines, processed meat products typically contain flavor enhancers, synthetic stabilizers, artificial dyes, starches, soy fillers, and synthetic antioxidants. This is not food. It is a chemical assembly inside a natural casing. enticing. If you want meat at breakfast, cook it yourself. Buy a good cut, boil it, or roast it at home. At minimum, you will know what went into it. Now let me tell you what a correctly constructed breakfast actually looks like, specifically with the clinical reasoning behind each component. Begin 30 minutes after waking. Before any food, drink a glass of warm water. Not cold, not scalding, warm. It gently activates intestinal motility, the rhythmic muscular contractions that move things through your gut, clears overnight gastric mucus, and signals to your digestive system that it is time to work. The base of breakfast should be a whole grain porridge. Rotate your grains. Pearl barley one day, buckwheat the next, millet the day after. Each grain feeds a different population of gut bacteria, which is exactly the point. Into every portion, add clarified butter, also called ghee. Clarified butter is butter from which the water and milk proteins have been removed. Those milk proteins, when heated, form harmful compounds. Clarified butter does not. It is well tolerated even by people with lactose intolerance. The processing removes the lactose, and it provides long, stable energy while slowing the absorption of carbohydrates from the grain. Add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed or chia seeds. These contain insoluble fiber. Fiber your digestive enzymes cannot break down, which passes through your intestinal tract and along the way feeds your beneficial bacterial colonies, your lactobacilli and bifidobacteria. A healthy gut microbiome, the entire community of bacteria living in your intestines, supports immune function, mood regulation, and healthy metabolic processing. You want to feed those bacteria every single morning. Add a protein source. Eggs, fried, boiled, or as an omelet, 3 to 4 times per week. On other days, cottage cheese or a baked cottage cheese dish. Cottage cheese provides complete protein with a full amino acid profile, which means it contains all the essential amino acids your body cannot synthesize on its own. It also delivers calcium in a well-absorbed form because the fat content is present to carry the fat-soluble vitamin D that facilitates calcium uptake. A slice of whole grain bread with a natural unprocessed cheese or with sour cream also works well. When I say whole grain bread, I mean bread where the first listed ingredient on the label is whole grain flour and where fiber content is meaningful. Not bread that is called multigrain with a picture of wheat on the packaging, but is made primarily from refined white flour. For protein variety, try a slice of lightly salted red fish, salmon, trout, or pink salmon on whole grain bread. These fish are excellent sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce vascular inflammation, support brain function, and are among the most consistently evidence-backed nutrients for cardiovascular protection. For beverages, choose vegetable juices. Beet juice, celery and apple, cucumber and greens, carrot with parsley. Avoid orange juice and apple juice before eating. Beet juice deserves a specific mention. Beets are among the highest dietary sources of plant-derived nitrates. In your mouth, saliva bacteria convert these nitrates to nitrites. In your stomach, those nitrites become nitric oxide, a gas that dilates blood vessel walls, lowers blood pressure, and improves oxygen delivery to tissues. This is a well-established mechanism in sports medicine. Beet juice is used as a natural, evidence-based tool to improve athletic endurance. The practical note, drink it slowly in small sips, holding it briefly in your mouth. This gives your salivary bacteria time to initiate the conversion to nitric oxide before the juice reaches your stomach. Here is the principle I repeat to every patient I see. There are no inherently bad foods, only wrong timing and wrong quantities. A nutritionally rich, whole food eaten at the wrong time of day and in amounts that exceed your actual energy output will still harm your health. Your morning meal needs to match your real energy expenditure. An office worker and a person doing physical labor have fundamentally different caloric needs. There is no universal gram-by-gram prescription that applies to everyone. Take the principles. Do not copy portions mechanically. Variety is also a clinical priority, not just a preference. Your gut microbiome, the bacterial community living in your intestines, requires different types of fiber from different plant sources to maintain its diversity. If you eat identical porridge every single morning, you feed the same bacterial populations day after day while starving others. Over time, those starved bacterial populations die off. The result is microbiome imbalance, reduced immune function, and impaired nutrient absorption. Rotate your grains, rotate your vegetables, rotate your protein sources. It costs nothing extra. It just requires awareness. Now, here's something I need to address directly because it is clinically relevant to everyone watching this. After the age of 45, insulin sensitivity begins to decline naturally. This is a physiological process. It happens in every aging body and cannot be stopped entirely, but it can absolutely be slowed. After the age of 50, the risk of metabolic syndrome, that cluster of high blood sugar, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol, rises to 2.5 times the risk seen in 30-year-olds. A properly structured breakfast is one of the most powerful daily interventions for slowing that decline. I genuinely want to understand who is watching this channel right now. Write your age in the comments below. It will help me see which risk groups are most represented here and calibrate future content to the people who need it most. How old are you? Tell me below. Here is your clinical takeaway. Eat breakfast every day. Do not eat immediately on waking. Give your body 15 to 30 minutes. Begin with a glass of warm water. Build your breakfast from a whole grain porridge with clarified butter and fiber seeds, a quality protein source such as eggs or cottage cheese, and whole grain bread with natural cheese or lightly salted fish. Drink vegetable juices. Remove from your morning table the following: instant cereals, coffee before eating, fruit juices before eating, processed cheese, fat-free dairy products, condensed milk, and all processed meats. Eat 3 meals a day without snacking between them. This is the pattern under which your pancreas and gut lining recover fully between meals and your biological clocks stay synchronized. This is not a diet plan and not a detox protocol. This is the basic physiology that every adult human being should understand. The clinic system will not explain this to you. There is no financial incentive to keep you healthy, and there is no time in a standard appointment to teach you how your own metabolism works. The money flows when you are sick, not when you are well. That is exactly why Dr. Waterling exists. Subscribe, leave a like, and help this channel reach 100,000 subscribers, one person at a time, armed with information that can actually change what happens to their body.